offensive coordinator, Chad Scott. Questions for Coach?
This is Chad. As you start to build this year's offense, obviously it appears you have some strengths. What kind of changes do those perceived strengths? How do you take advantage of what you do, and how different will it look from last year?
I think the biggest difference you guys will see initially is the fact that we got two mobile quarterbacks. We hadn't had that since we've been here. So that'll be the biggest thing you guys see, the fact that we got a mobile quarterback, and we can do some different things in the run game with the zone reads, taking advantage of their mobility and their ability to be able to create more space for us in the run game. And you'll also be able to see us, obviously, with the running backs we got in this offense, being able to see those guys on the field at the same time, both in the backfield and at times, and we did that a little bit today, one in the backfield, one flexed out to be able to take advantage of those guys' passing ability.
How much can you use CJ? I mean, this spring, is he completely out, little out?
He's limited. No, he's not out. He's limited. He's a tough kid. Now he wants to play through. We got to be smart with him, obviously. But like today, he felt good. So it was no limitations on him at all today. He's got to do a great job communicating with us, and he did a great job of that today. He felt good today. But obviously he's still continuing just to learn the position, man. We love to get to the point where obviously after this, this spring ball, we can, not necessarily get him banged up as much and utilize him in the pass game a lot more in these situations. But today, he was out there running around. But he won't obviously be involved in a lot of true contact. But today's like day we'll take advantage of.
Is there schemes where you could play three running backs or two quarterbacks?
Two quarterbacks, three running backs.
I mean, not at the same time, but mix and match here where you get your best athletes on the field?
It is. And obviously, right now we're installing the offense. The biggest thing those guys got to do right now is continue, get back to learning the concepts of the pass game. We weren't as involved in the pass game last year, so the previous years we were. And so I could have answered that question easily a couple of years ago when we had Lady Brown. But we did a great job this offseason. Did something a little non-conventional instead of doing like early morning workouts. Did a lot of football. And so those guys did a great job studying the pass game concepts. So I think we will eventually be able to get to that point where you could see three running backs on the field at the same time, taking advantage of C.J. Donaldson's ability to be able to play receiver. But right now, you probably see just two, may see two, like I said, two in the backfield at a time or one in the backfield, one flexed out.
I guess the issue when you have multiple running backs is the blocking, right? Is that
Yeah, you know what? Typically, yes, but I'll tell you what, C.J. Donaldson, man, showed the ability to be able to, even in the offseason, be able to block phenomenally well on the perimeter. Heck, for those backs, it's really just, and I'll tell you, the toughest part of that is those guys being unselfish to be able to do it, but those guys got phenomenal chemistry back there, and they're willing to want to block, period, and block for one another won't be an issue, so I think they'll be fine doing that. It is, I tell you what, here's the biggest adjustment. I'm so used to being tunnel vision toward those running backs and them linebackers and running around. It's just being able to see the whole picture, see everything that's going on. So that's going to be the biggest adjustment, being able to see the whole picture, see what's going on. I loving the leadership opportunity, man. I feel like one of my best abilities is to be able to get, connect with the guys and bring out the best in them. So, we've done a phenomenal job this all season, establishing chemistry, building the bond amongst everybody. And that was evident today. I mean, we got guys like a Wyatt Milam that's, typically a quiet guy. Now, his play isn't quiet. He's a phenomenal player, but just in terms of him being vocal, and, man, he was vocal today, running around, patting guys, dapping guys up. And so that was really good to see. But that's going to be one of my biggest adjustments, just being able to get comfortable, being able to see the whole picture and not just, the running backs and the linebackers. So it'll take a couple of days kind of to gravitate towards that.
In terms of the quarterback competition, obviously it'll be Coach Brown's final call, but what are you personally looking to see from them? How are you evaluating that? And is there any sense of you just mentioned obviously so much of a background with dealing with the running backs. Is there any sense of almost learning on the job as well, because you're now dealing with the whole offense
right.
and you're in the midst of a quarterback battle, but that's not necessarily your background and different than what they had before with your predecessor being so much of a QB guy?
Well, you just got to rely on, obviously, the expertise of Coach Brown and Coach Reagan and their decision on that deal. Those guys continue to compete throughout the spring. And obviously, decision-making is going to be critical. and we did a phenomenal job that day taking care of football. You know, that's going to be one of the biggest deals. I'm pretty sure, just being on the same page with Coach Brown, heck, unless one of them just clearly supersedes the next one. I mean, they'll continue to compete throughout the spring and on the fall, but really just kind of rely heavily on, Coach Brown and what Coach Reagan think of those guys. But obviously, decision making in that regard is going to be huge, man. Their ultimate responsibility is to win. First of all, to make sure the 10 guys on the field with them are better when they're on the field and win. So
Any differences with each one on the field, or can you run?
right now, I
practically
tell you
everything
what, not today. Right now, they were both good today, man. I tell you, the decision making was really good. We took care of the football, and that's one of our biggest objectives. Take care of the football first and foremost. And being that we haven't done in the past because we hadn't had that type of guy at that position to do the zone read stuff. I thought the reads was really clean today. And it was a surprise. It was our defense too, because they were diving in towards those backs. So they weren't used to defending both, and it created a couple explosive runs for those guys. So I thought the decision making was really good with the zone reads, which we had no idea how they were going to do in that regard. It's the first time we've done it. It's the first time we just flat out played in open sets. When I'm talking like no tight ends attached, for a couple plays throughout team periods in a while, and they handled that really well.
How much do you have to do different because Nico's left-handed? I mean, is it
Nothing.
simple? Or
Nothing really. Nothing really. We hadn't done that. It's an interesting question. We hadn't done nothing really. He's able to do it. The biggest thing is just making sure that we're able to we rep both plays left and right, and we got a team teach period in which we do both, so he can get obviously used to rolling out both ways, and but don't have to change anything differently.
Does it impact the way you put Wyatt, though? I mean, do you flip-flop him from left to right depending upon Garrett or
No, we
Nico?
don't. We don't. And then that's one thing you definitely do not want to do. That's kind of easy for the defense to be able to defend if you got a kid that can. He struggles going this way, so if we can get him, we can push him here, or man, if we get him on the left hash, we know this. So again, we hadn't thought about it, and it's something that like I said, we make sure we rep both sides so they get a great feel for it, so we're not handicapped in that regard.
You're obviously new here as the OC, and you have two new offensive coaches. What's it been like kind of starting to figure out them
Yeah.
and have them also figure out you as you go
Yeah.
through this process?
First of all, it's been amazing having those guys, man. Those guys bring great energy, man, and the kids love them. Those guys got great energy. They're eager. It's been great to have those guys. For me, I'm all about being detailed. And we've had a couple months of working together thus far throughout the off season. And like I said, we hadn't done more of the traditional, like the early morning workouts with all the station works. We've done actually like just football things. So we've had some time to kind of get around each other so they can see the things I expect. And I'm more so about doing the little things right. If we can do the littlest things right, man, it can make the big things happen. I believe we're a very talented team, experienced team, veteran teams. Outside of some of the guys outside at the receiver spot. So man, like one of the things they seen with me, I'm a high energy guy, and coach the details. Don't get bored with it. And for those guys, man, just bring great energy, and they've been doing a great job of doing that. So.
Has the decision made where you're gonna be? I mean, you've always been on the field with the running backs.
I know.
Now in your role with Neil in the
Yeah.
communication, are you
Yeah.
gonna go up?
I don't know. That's tough. I don't know. That's something we kind of working towards. That's going to be
Yeah.
tough for me. That's a big adjustment too. I got to be in it.
Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I need to be on the field.
But at the same
mean,
time,
yeah.
the view of the total
I know
field,
it.
you talk about tunnel vision
I
and the
know
whole
it.
deal.
I know it. And that's one thing. And that's one thing. But the spring ball for me, one of my biggest, like I spoke on earlier. That's going to be a big thing for me. Just
Right.
that's one of my biggest things I'm working on. Is seeing that whole picture.
I know when
Yeah.
you talk to coaches, there's a difference. When you're on the field, you got a feel for, you can look in the player's eyes, you
Right.
can sense that energy.
Right.
Then when you're up, you're
Right.
completely removed from
Right.
everything.
And see, for me, like, and I've always been this way, not just, since I've been in this position, but I've always had the ability to be able to connect with all the guys, every position since I've been here. And so, like, me being able to impact those guys on and off the football field is huge for me. And I don't know if that'd be good for me to go over there. I mean, right now. I mean, it felt kind of weird. It felt kind of weird today. So one of the players asked me, they said, man, Coach, Jalen broke that run. I'm used to you running next to him, man. I ain't see that was kind of weird, man. I ain't see you down there with him, So and the one I told the guys today, I said, now if I run down the field, y'all got to keep it where we're going, so y'all can keep signaling the plays and whatnot. But that's going to be the biggest adjustment for me to be able to see that because I got to be in it. So
I was gonna say up top, it's probably more clinical, more,
yeah.
less emotion,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
analytical. I
Yeah,
guess.
it is. And that, like I said, that's going to be something I got to work work through this spring.
If
And
that's
see.
if you do go up,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You ask me right now, I don't want to go up, but we'll see.
Chad, the play calling thing, I know
Yeah.
that's to be resolved, but it sounds like you'll have some opportunities to.
Yeah, some opportunities. Like we'll say, we'll continue to work through it this spring, and you know what I mean, and see it, but see how it goes. But we'll continue to work through it this spring. Have some opportunities, but we'll continue to work through it this spring and see how that goes.
I asked you about that. I'm imagining after practice, your evaluation's all different too. But some of the things you mentioned about like leadership, holding guys together, it sounds like you're doing something new on offense where you have a lot to do with it too. What goes into being the offensive coordinator apart from just like calling plays and?
I'll tell you what, man. Like obviously, the calling plays is a big deal, but man, I'll tell you what. One of the most important parts of it, just the organization of it. Just all the ideas put forth to even actually put in the script to actually run the plays. You know what I mean? Like, heck, I've been in this office. We got back on Sunday. It was a late Sunday. I mean, it was after this is the season for me right now. It was a late Sunday. It was a late Monday to run this practice in terms of putting all the ideas together and all the plays together to be able to actually run and execute that practice. So just in this short amount of time, in these last couple of days, and obviously calling plays, heck, out there telling the signal guys, what play to signal was a whole lot easier than the last 2-3 nights, putting all the plays together on the script to actually run that practice. So the organization behind it, in regards to all the ideas put forth to actually put the plan together to run the plays, that's been the biggest adjustment thus far.
What do you see from Devin Carter?
Him make some crucial plays on some third down situations that was huge for us. He really made some. We had some, and we had some. Obviously, we work in situations when we go team periods, and we had 2 situations today, which third down situations. First of all, line did a phenomenal job sitting in, blocking, and the quarterback did a great job sitting in the pocket, and he made 2 outstanding contested catches in crucial situations, man. So we're real excited about his ability to be able to stretch the field vertically for us and go up and make some big plays down the field. That's what I've seen thus far.
Kind of unique. I asked Neil this yesterday. You've got all but 13 of your rushing yards back. You've got all those runners. You've got an offensive line that's basically intact. And then on the other side, you've got so much inexperience at wide receiver. Do you have to strike the balance between getting those wide receivers up to speed to be balanced, or do you look for ways to really, focus on that great group you've got in the running game?
But we got to play towards our strength. We got to definitely play towards our strength. Our strength right now is those guys up front and those guys behind them. So we got to definitely play towards our strength. But those guys outside, too, they got to continue to do things that they did today. They made some phenomenal catches today. When their numbers called, they got to make a play. Obviously, we won't be able to get through games just, handing the ball off, every snap. So those guys going to have to contribute for us and be able to stretch the field vertically for us and get those safeties stop sticking they had in the box. So they're going to have to make some plays for us. But overall, you got to play towards your strengths. The guys that's proven to be able to make the plays. We're loaded back there. We got to take advantage of their ability. So we're going to definitely play, to our strengths, find ways to get those guys the ball. But like I said, those guys got outside, got to definitely step up. And they did that today. And that's going to make, and those guys make those kind of plays for us. That's going to make life easier for the guys in the backfield, too. So.
When Neil announced you as OC, we saw the video of the team in here and how they
Oh,
celebrated.
yeah.
What was that movement like for you?
Hey, man, it's priceless. First of all, I had no idea up until about 30 minutes before then, so I was kind of that video kind of off in my regard. But that was exciting. I told those guys too. It's funny because one of the players said, "Coach, I never seen you like that." Even when I went with the offense after that team meeting, just kind of like all jittered up and more so, just so much more like a little bit of disbelief and excitement at the same time, man. But it was awesome to see, like their reception towards that when Coach named it. So that was exciting. It's been awesome.
What do you see now, Jaheim White, so far?
It's fast. It's fast for him. He is talented. He is very talented. He's very talented. He made some plays. He just got to understand how to practice. First day out there, he's like, man, coach, this thing move around fast, man. Yeah, it moves fast, man. You fast too. So he's very talented. Just got to learn how to practice. And when I say learn how to practice, like he got to finish with game-like behavior. Defense talk about getting 11 hands to the ball. So he said, Coach, man, I made the first guy miss, but the rest of the guys came in. You got to finish. So he's very talented. Catch the ball really well, even out of the backfield. He's special with the ball in his hand. He's just got to understand how to practice. But first day, but I thought the biggest thing today, and I told him this after practice, I like the way he just went out there and played. He was confident just go out there and make play. Whether it was the right play or not, he did it with confidence. So, and that was really good to see.
Okay, anything else for Coach?
Yeah, one guy's a little bit different. Hamilton, fullback from House.
Yeah, Luke Hamilton.
Yeah, just you got all these running backs you talked about, but you got
Yeah, I know it, man.
something that, like,
Yeah. Well, right now we got those guys in the tight end room, and so we're trying to teach those guys, some of the run. We're gonna sometimes getting heavy sets when you go like short yardage goal line. So we're trying to get those guys a roll. That's gonna be something that we gotta work towards too, because we also got a kid Colin McBee that's had a phenomenal all season, and we want to be able to take advantage of those guys' abilities. So right now we're working with the tight ends so they can understand, learn all the concepts, but we got to find a way to get those guys involved and use them.
I didn't mean he was like White or Anderson, anybody like that running back, but like he's also not like your 6'5" tight ends either. He's kind of in between. And
Yeah.
as far as that go, really the only person like that you have.
Yeah, him and Colin McBee,
Okay, yeah.
they're true fullback kind of
Yeah,
guys.
so that's what I was saying. True fullback, and
Yeah.
then if you're going to run the ball and you have offensive linemen, I imagine there's rhyme or reason there too. But
Mm-hmm.
how much of an addition or how much of a change would that be for offense to have somebody who can get it?
It's actually going to be easier for us because, like last year, we struggled sometimes finding that big kind of body to go like a 21 personnel or a 12 personnel set, which is two tight ends, or 21 being a back, a fullback, and a tight end, because we hadn't had that body type. Last year, we tried to put Nick Malone in that kind of role, where now we got two of those body types, particularly one with Luke Hamilton. And so that gives us a lot more versatility to be able to, play with a guy like Cole Taylor, Traylon Davis, and that guy, sort of make life a lot easier getting in the end zone.
I'm gonna ask you this. I know you don't have him yet, but do you have in the back of your mind a Rodney Gallagher plan for when you get him?
There ain't no doubt. Yeah, ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
Can't ever have enough playmakers, that's for certain. Yeah, but we do have a plan for Ronnie Gallagher when he gets here.
So you kind of work the whole picture around when you eventually get him, I guess, and some of the things that you do with the other guys around him?
Yeah, absolutely. And Rodney will come around sometime this spring to get a chance to see some of these things too. But absolutely, man, we excited to get him when he gets here in town.
You don't have a time frame or know exactly when you.
Well, he won't come until
I know for a while.
yeah.
But you do have the opportunity also, too, with the way the rules are structured, to be able to work him a little bit, particularly in the summertime, once you get him, when you do.
Oh,
put out
absolutely.
balls.
Yeah, in the summertime we get an opportunity to work with those guys. Yeah, we'll make sure we get him caught up to speed. No question. Yeah, absolutely.
You ever coached running quarterbacks like this, and sort of the read option? You haven't done it here.
We hadn't done it here. I've done it in the past, in places I've been, but we hadn't done it here. And I'll tell you what, it opens up the run game big time. And it was evident, like I said, it was evident today. I remember going half line run. It was Jared Bartlett. Man, he came screaming off that edge, and it was funny. We had Sean Boyle in the game, and he gave the ball to the running back, so it would have been a TFL for sure. And he said, "Oh, Coach, my bad. I'm sorry. I gotta pull it." And then once those guys start pulling the ball, it keeps those guys honest, man. I'll tell you what, that creates a lot of space for us. That's tough to defend, because obviously you call them the play for you call them the defensive play to stop the one that you intend to, that you think the offense is gonna run. But there's no play for that quarterback when he pulls that ball now. That's something else you got to defend. So that's going to open up our run game. That's going to create some more space for us and allow us to do some things we haven't been able to do in the past.
Yes, the downside to that, right, is when you got running quarterbacks, you need a lot of them.
Yeah, well, they can hand the ball off. Yeah, and we won't just get carried away with it. We understand that. Obviously, got to take care of those guys. I mean, first and foremost, the ability to be able to distribute the football and make good decisions. So, obviously we'll have some run game opportunities for them. Since now those guys are in competition, it won't be more so, like in the past, it's been more so create quarterback runs for those guys coming in since they haven't been the guy. But now there are two guys competing to be the guy. So we won't necessarily just call it a lot of true quarterback runs, be more so just read opportunities for them. So we can kind of control that too with the play caller.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you guys. Appreciate the time.